Paul, nice to see you.
That means there's a bad question coming.
No, I'm going to start.
Oh, nice to see you, which means we're friends. Followed by?
Good week in terms of business for you this week, isn't it not?
Oh, listen, you know, I think January is notoriously a difficult window for football clubs in general. You know, for ourselves, obviously, you know, I think quite common knowledge we would like to strengthen. I think that's, you know, key. You know, strengthening them probably with the correct players is so important. Can you always get the correct players in January? That's open for debate. Certainly with Pilks coming in, we're delighted to sign such an experienced forward player. Plays a number of positions, great pedigree, great lad, great quality. You know, we've suffered a lot, I think, as most people know, with Jacobs, Powell, Massey being out for long periods. Gary Roberts has done excellent within that. You know, Nathan Burns played midfield. So to get an acquisition in that area of that quality, yeah, we'd have to say we're very pleased.
And beating another club to signature as well is always good, I suppose.
It's irrelevant, isn't it? In transfers and movements, it's, you know, so much goes into a transfer. To beat another club is just part and parcel of football. For you beating one club one day, someone will beat you the next. So that's just part of the game.
Is he fit and available to play against Villa tomorrow?
He'll be playing against Villa tomorrow. He goes right to the starting 11. We've needed an injection for a bit now. Do you know, I think our supporters have been terrific. We know we're not doing as well as everyone would like. But I think sometimes there's always a bit of sense at clubs. Do you know, our injuries have been and took its toll on us, certainly in certain areas. You know, Dan Burns gone. I think it's quite common knowledge now. Defensively, we're not endeared with a lot of players to pick from. So strengthening does become a really important thing. So, you know, it's hopefully now, you know, Michael Jacobs will be involved tomorrow, which is fantastic. Mick Powell will train on Monday and Gavin Massey will not be far behind them. So when people told me it can't rain forever, it's just showing slight signs of stopping, which is fantastic for myself, the staff, and most importantly our supporters.
Sammy Morsey and Darren Gibson, are they close as well?
Both fit and available for the team tomorrow. So we've had a really good week. We're really delighted with what's going on. We're in a campaign now of 20 games. We're in a 20-game campaign now to give everyone and deliver everything that everybody wants. For that now as a club, and I know we will, our supporters come together, our players, and we all fight for what we all want.
And tying up Nathan Byrne as well on another deal, that's good news for you as well. How important is he remain to you?
Just again, we always want our good players to stay. I think Nathan, you know, had a pre-season injury, which allowed Reece James, who was brought in to give Nathan cover. Nathan was our player of the year last year, had an outstanding season. It's very much a big part of our dressing room, and you know, the good thing of dressing rooms and football clubs and the spirit that people carry within that. Unfortunately, Nathan missed the start of the season, and as they say with Reece, the rest is history. You know, he's missed out to a really top player that will go on, in my opinion, to have a top international career with England and everything. So Nathan's been fantastic around it. One day Reece will leave us, you know, and Nathan will probably slot right back into his right back role. So to tie Nathan up is good news as well.
You mentioned a backline recruitment. So are you close? Are you hopeful?
I'm not. I'm genuinely not getting involved in it. You know, in transfer talks, for good, for bad, for ugly. It's what we all speak about in the different stuff. For me as manager, I just concentrate on the players that are fit and available for tomorrow. You know, we have got the first time we've got a problem selecting a bench. It's been a long time since we had that problem. How good is that for us today?
I'll hit you then with just one more on that. Speculation about Will Grigg. Is there anything that you can tell us about that?
I think what you have to be very careful of with speculation and all different stuff, there is always 2, 3, 4 sides to a story. For me as manager of Wigan Athletic, Will Grigg is very much not our main striker, because that's disrespectful to the other strikers. He's very much a focal point of what we do, what we try and do in our system of how we play. Our greatest success since I've been manager is Powell, Grigg, Massey and Jacobs. We haven't had them players on the pitch in Stoke. So while people can speculate on bids, low bids, big bids, high bids, we are trying to strengthen our team, not weaken it.
I think that's quite a strong message.
As categorical as I can be. Within that, we then have other sides to stories and a million different things. As I say, I can only reiterate my best days at the club have been with them players on the pitch. We go back to Stoke away, when everyone spoke about us so well. The next game, Gavin Massey tore and ruptured his hamstring. And as they say, the rest is history with them 4 players. Them 4 players complement each other really well. They bring an attacking edge to every team they will play for. One day soon, my belief is that we will see them 4 players together again on a pitch for Wigan Athletic.
I'm sure everyone will be happy about that. I know you said forget it, but the situation you're currently in, how actually alien is it to you? I mean, you've tasted huge amounts of success in your recent career.
Yeah. Luckily enough, football success is great while you have it. Success will be defined this year by myself and my staff and the players staying in the division. We're in that league now. It's an unforgiving league. It's all the above. I just look forward to getting the squad completed, to our players back fit and getting on with what we do best, winning football games for Wigan Athletic. In my 18 months here, we've had some fantastic days. The last couple of months have been really tough for everyone, because we've not 90% of the time picked the same players again and again and again. Them days now are coming to an end where we have quality in areas, we have players to pick from and personnel. So the sun hasn't been shining at Wigan, but hopefully soon it will.
We always talk about confidence of players in bad trots. How is your confidence affected?
My confidence is affected. Let me tell you how my confidence is affected. I got a text message off one of my staff yesterday that Nathan Jones has been appointed as Stoke manager, and there is only 3 managers in English football since Nathan took over at Luton who's won more football games. Pochettino, Chris Wilder and Paul Cook third. The member of the staff told me, you need to liven up. So when my confidence is low, we're not doing too bad amidst the bad run. I need to get above Pochettino and Chris Wilder to have won the most games. So while we can all feel disappointment and pain, sometimes you've got to remember, my job is to lead these players. No matter how good, bad or ugly you feel, lead them with a bit of style, lead them with a bit of class. We've had great days here, especially at the stadium, where we beat Man City, we beat West Ham. We've had great wins, we went to Doncaster and won. We've had great days. Our days now can be defined on a 20-league campaign. Getting our players back fit, ideally recruiting 1 or 2 to help strengthen us, not lose players, will see us all get where we want to be.
I suppose that answers almost my follow-up question to that you probably do question your philosophies, and even for a second you have to then remind yourself it's been successful, I am correct in what I'm doing.
If you be bluntly truthful, and I really do like to think I'll be bluntly truthful, sometimes football games come down to personnel. And if you haven't got the personnel to win the game, systems, formations and tactics can go right out the window. We played quite well at West Brom away on Boxing Day, and Jay Rodriguez undone us. Jay Rodriguez is a £20 million footballer, and sometimes you've got to hold your hand up and say, do you know what, we might be quite good enough for that. But by the time we get all our players back fit and available, I'd like to think that we'll show a lot more, what would we say, not fight, because the lads show fight, not great. We'll show a lot more of regaining our identity. Our identity was deemed over the first 10 games of the season. Our identity in the next 10's been a little bit lost. We need to find our identity again.
The first game against Villa was in those first 10 games, where it was a fantastic game and you were very unlucky not to come on the right side of it.
Yeah, it was a good game for us. I think it was a very entertaining game. I think we lost 5-6 minutes into stoppage time. I think ideally it was what we all envisaged the season that was going to be, that we would be involved in roller coaster games that could sway and go both ways. I think Villa are absolutely, as everyone knows, such a fantastic club. They are what they are. They're a Premier League club playing in the Championship without a shadow of doubt, and that carries its own pressure. They've recruited a fantastic manager. I think he's a Villa fan as well to boot, and I think that's just great for the whole identity of the club. Within that, you look at the calibre of player they have, and you've got our hands full tomorrow. But these are games that we've always wanted and we've always looked forward to. Tomorrow will be no different.
How differently do you think they'll play? And how
hopefully bad. Hopefully if Dean Smith listens to this interview, hopefully don't turn up the rubbish and he's got them locked in a dressing room for 2 hours after the game. Listen, they're Aston Villa, aren't they? Come on. If you expect these teams to turn up and not cause you a lot of problems, you're a very foolish person. They're trying to very much probably play in a philosophy that Dean implemented so well at Brentford. He's now trying to implement that at Aston Villa. I think January for Dean will be a big window. I think all the managers are looking to strengthen. So, onwards and upwards for Aston Villa. But, it's about us. It really is. It's about us. We had such a strong home record for a long period, and that's just wavered a little bit latterly. We want to find ourselves. We want our supporters now to just get behind the 20-game run, that's what it is. And we want to make sure that come the end of the season, we're a Championship club, getting stronger, better in the Championship and trying to go forward.
And then they'll inevitably be boosted by these players coming back, won't they? They'll instantly put smiles on their faces, you go.
Oh, listen, I think for a Wigan Athletic fan, when we have Massey, Jacobs, Powell, you know, Grigg fit, available, all them lads, do you know, when we get all the players back that we've missed out so much going forward, in an ideal world where we strengthen in defensive areas, you know, then I'm sure Wigan fans will say we might see a little bit more of our teeth in the second half of the season, and that's what we all want.